There are a lot of weird stories all of the time, like some realtors get killed, some like can I put like a property picture on a Tinder and they would like, and I told her I'm a real estate agent and she just smashed the door in my face. Nobody's gonna stop you for earning as much as like millions of dollars. Well, in the first place, you don't have to hire a realtor. It's good for people because it's a great resource. Realtors have access to different databases that most of the people don't have access to. Marketing is another side of our job. It's not only sales. Whenever we get a listing, we also have to market the property to the right people because there are different kind of buyers. Some properties work perfectly for investors. Some properties work perfectly for families. And for each buyer, for each seller, there's different markets. So this is a sales job, so it's mainly commission-based. That being said, you can make tons of money or you can make nothing. So it really depends on how much you sell. And there's no standard in BC. You actually can pay whichever amount you think is fair, but commonly is seen is like 7% on the first 100,000 and then 3% on the balance. I think last year the most expensive one that we sold was over $3 million. Last year was a good year actually. I think we had over 40 transactions, which are different, which can range anywhere from 300,000 and go up to like 5 million or anything. That's just our team, so 3 of us. The mortgage you can qualify for is 4 times your wage. So 4 times 80 is 320,000. Plus 50,000 down payment, so you can buy something for 370,000. And if I were you, I would be looking at the areas that have been growing more than the others. Those are usually not central areas, they're usually more like a suburb, but you know that they're gonna expand more and they're gonna be developed. You can do rentals or you can just buy a property, live there for a couple of years and then sell it and can still make some money. You can buy a pre-sale and wait until completion, put a tenant there, they're gonna live there for a couple of years and then sell it again. Or you cannot really do Airbnb here because most of the buildings don't allow Airbnb, but if you get a chance, that's a very good cash flow investment. You have to get work done in the house, make sure it looks presentable. Some people actually use staging services. So you pay to a staging company and they just put furniture in your house. Like it does a good job on it. You know, the looks sell, so that's what you gotta do. Easy. The main point is to understand what are the priorities of the seller and of the buyer. And that's the way you can play around with the price. So let's say there's a house and the seller receives 2 offers. One offer is, the house is listed for 500,000. One offer is 515,000 and the closing date is in 2 or 3 months. But you know that the seller wants to sell ASAP. So your client puts 480, let's say, but the closing date is in 2 weeks. So if the seller really wants to sell ASAP, they will go with a lower price. Can I put like a property picture on a Tinder and they would like... There are like old-fashioned sales methods, cold calling. You basically call all of the people that you actually don't know and introduce yourself and find out if there are any, like if there is anyone looking to buy or looking to sell. Door knocking. It's tough because some people don't like when other people knock on their doors, which is normal. Once I had this story where this old grandma opened the door and she said, "What do you want, sweetheart?" And I told her, "I'm a real estate agent," and she just smashed the door in my face. You can see all of the realtors on the buses with their pictures and faces on that, the benches. Actually, Facebook ads, Google ads, they're like golden, seriously. Like, if you have a good property that is actually worth it, and it actually helps everyone, like not just realtors to get business, but also for people to see what's out there in the market. So referrals are a big thing, actually. If you do your job well, you're gonna get, like, you get a lot of referrals, and that's one of the most favorite probably ways to get clients for all of the realtors. That's a great question, and it makes me a little bit depressed when you ask me about this. But if the market is slow, it's a great opportunity for other clients. It doesn't mean nobody's buying anything at all. Some people can actually use that as an advantage because the prices are going to go down, and that's where you have actually to buy. Because if you want to invest wisely, the best time to buy is whenever the prices are low and the demand is low. So it doesn't mean that there's not going to be any job for us. I'm either creating content or I'm losing my job, so I'm not sure. There's actually a privacy issue with that, but I can tell you about not clients. There are a lot of weird stories all of the time, like some realtors get killed, some like not on a regular basis. We went door knocking one day in downtown, and we knocked on this townhouse, and the guy walked out wearing nothing but his underwear. So, and he was like standing like this, and he was completely comfortable with it, and I think I was the only one who wasn't comfortable there. So it's like one of the weird things. In Vancouver, you have to go to UBC and take a course there, and then there are other courses that you have to take throughout your license. Yeah, you need a license and you need to be signed with a brokerage. Without a brokerage, you cannot practice real estate. It's great for hardworking people and for people who feel like they don't want to do their 9 to 5 and like reach that limit, because this job is limitless in terms of income. Like, nobody's gonna stop you for earning as much as like millions of dollars. So it really depends on what your skills are, how you apply those skills in your career, and if you want to grow, if you want to work on yourself and succeed. So you can do whatever you want. You're free to do whatever you want in this job. Most of the people think that being a realtor is making easy money, and like realtors don't do any job at all, which is not true, because our hours are irregular hours. This is not your regular 9 to 5 job. So on the weekends you usually have showings, open houses. During weekdays it's usually not 9 to 5 too, so it really depends on your clients. So whenever your client calls, you have to be there. This job is pretty stressful because realtors are usually the ones who take the pressure on themselves during the negotiation process, trying to help their clients to get the best out of the deal, and it's a lot of back and forth. So it can be really stressful, but it's also really rewarding.